I want to address this prior to the Falcons game because hopefully the Falcons can pull out a win, and I don't want to wait till the podcast to talk about this situation. Let's get in on. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I've been a Georgia Southern fan ever since like the early '90s, 1990. Tim Stowers, the whole national championship game. I was a little kid and I remember watching that, and ever since then I've been an Eagles fan, living out of Savannah, Georgia. But I've seen all the ups and downs, the national championships, the BVG days. The Summers days. I've seen it all. But I will say this: what Coach Clay Helton has done is not necessarily a huge failure, but it's just one issue that keeps rearing its head every single time. His inability to change quarterbacks when needed. And this is the main downfall of every single season that we had. That's really what it's been. You look at the situation with the first year. Kyle Van Treese did a phenomenal job. I can't take that away from him. He had his moments, but all things considered, he played pretty well. And we didn't know if we needed a quarterback change then. Some people was actually asking for a change then, but it's his first year, we get it. Second year, you bring in Davis Brin. Davis Brent should not have been the starter after maybe game 3, maybe game 4, because you saw what you had in this quarterback, and even though J.C. French and Colton Fitzgerald was the guys that was supposedly ready to go when needed, they never really got the chance to play, and I think when J.C. French did play, he ended up getting injured because it was late in the season. It was kind of abysmal. But everybody knew that Coach Clay Helton loves to stick with the guy that he starts out with. And this year it's kind of probably been to the detriment to him. Now, I will say, I don't think J.C. French played bad this year. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he played bad, all things considered. But what I do think is that when you have a better player, a player that's shown that he could be better than J.C. French, who brought a team back from down 20, well, at least one time, and end up helping the team win against South Alabama in a hostile territory the second time, you would think at least after the second time he would have got a chance to at least start. Coach Clay Helton loves to stick with the quarterback he starts with, and it cost him a player to transfer, in my opinion. No, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know everything that happened between that situation, but it just seems like you put 2 and 2 together. You get a player who won 2 games for you in heroic fashion, and you don't, at least, even if J.C. French was QB1, you would at least gave Dexter Williams, a guy who's been in college football longer, who's played at a high level in the Power 5 conference, you would have thought to give him at least one start. I take it that after the South Alabama game, there's probably some rumbling saying that he wasn't going to be the starter, and that was it. He was out. He wasn't going to be able to start. J.C. French, the team, in my opinion, I feel like they still tried to galvanize and play around him because they didn't play bad. The team itself didn't play bad, but that is the main issue with George Southern. The second issue is really the play calling. The play calling is pretty bad. The play calling, sometimes it looks like it is, on point, and then sometimes you get plays. Well, most of the time, you get plays like what you saw in the game against Troy. I don't understand what you were trying to do on third down with half of the O-line on the sideline. Well, what was that? I'm still at a loss of what that was. So that's a part of it as well. But I can't. But this is the thing. I've seen plenty of teams, even in our own, conference of the Sun Belt, change quarterbacks, whether it be injury or performance. It happens. And sometimes it works out for the better. You got to understand, the first team we played this season was Boise State. Boise State got a 5-star recruit. Came into Boise State, I think his name was Malachi Nelson, was supposed to be the starter. The other guy that was supposed to be the backup, they decided to bring him in because they felt that he played better. And he did pretty good. Yes, we did take them to the brink. We almost beat them. But look at the rest of their season. Sometimes it happens. Marshall just went through this with their quarterback situation. Other teams go through this with their quarterbacks. But for some reason, Coach Clay Helton, for the second year in a row, has been so stubborn to move away from a quarterback. It cost him probably the best quarterback that we had on the team. Probably the best quarterback. Because even though these are sample sizes of Dexter Williams, we can't definitively say, but I believe that he should have deserved a starting position in at least one of these games. I would say after the Marshall game, because we got to understand, J.C. French was knocked out of that game because he was concussed. Just for safety purposes, you would want Dexter Williams to play and keep J.C. French healthy, if that's your QB1. Okay, what, the second time he got knocked out of it for injury again? Dexter Williams comes in and helps come back from another 20-point lead to win a game. After that, I really feel at that point you don't have, I ain't gonna say you don't have a choice, but you should really reconsider letting him start the following game after South Alabama. This is the biggest problem for Coach Clay Helton, and unfortunately, we lost a quarterback, and then come to find out he had 2 years of eligibility left. He could have played for us again next year as well. A lot could have happened, even if it didn't work out. At least we would have known what we saw, if what we saw was real or was it something with just a flash in the pan. And now, not only it cost him the quarterback, the next couple of games, it could really cost him the job. Now, there's another thing I didn't talk about yet, and I'm pretty sure if you're still here, I really appreciate it. Isaac Walker on his Instagram has some indifference about what the coaching staff is trying to put out there. I don't have it with me in front of me right here, but he said that he wanted to win a championship. I'm paraphrasing. He wanted to win a championship at Georgia Southern, but the other guys aren't on board with that, or they don't see it the same way. This is one of the biggest. This is like the beginning of the end. This is one of the biggest issues that you can have when a player start saying stuff like this. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Yeah. Isaac Walker says, to all my fans that came out, I want to apologize. All I wanted to do was win a championship at Georgia Southern, but that ain't the common goal within the building. Can you blame him? Can you blame him for feeling that way? Is there a lie right there? And this is not just a situation from last year. I mean, this year. Last year, you could make the same conclusion. There were times that our quarterback threw 4 interceptions in a game, and Coach Clay Helton refused to pull him out. This year, I'm not saying that J.C. French should have been benched, but he was injured, and you had a better. You could make the case that the other quarterback was better than J.C. French. Should have had him in the game, and you let him walk. You let him walk. Trust me, what Isaac Walker's saying right here, I'm pretty sure other players feel the same way. This is one of the quickest ways, and I said this last year when everything was spiraling out of control. This is one of the quickest ways you can lose recruits. This is one of the quickest ways you can lose players. Coach Clay Helton has touted he's touted that that his big thing about the transfer portal, that nobody really leaves the transfer portal and leaves out. I would not be surprised by the end of the season more players be ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't understand how it get this bad when you have everything lined up for you. You have everything lined up for you to be successful. You brought in the players. You brought in the coaching staff. You got the fans on board. You got us content creators, telling other people who may not know much about Georgia Southern. You got them spreading the word about what we're trying to do here. And you have this one or two things. And I'm not even going to just blame it all on the play calling per se. It could be better. But your inability to see the talent under center and at least try to mix things up when you clearly have a guy who saved your season twice. You wouldn't give it a chance. And that right there, like I said, it cost you a quarterback, and it may cost you the team. It may cost you the job. This is extremely unacceptable. Extremely unacceptable. Because everybody see what we can do. Everybody can see what we got in front of us. And you just refuse to execute. And I'm not even going to talk about the post-game interview that Coach Clay. I didn't even look at it. I just saw the reactions, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to do it to myself. But hey, I'm going to leave with this. I know a lot of fans, they've been pretty quiet as of late as far as the USC fans. A part of them may feel vindicated, like they told us, we told you so type mentality. But I will say this, honestly, this is not what you guys were saying what it was. This is an inability to just basically change talent. Maybe that was the issue at USC, because from what I hear, it was just a guy that just couldn't get it done with the talent that he had. But this over here just seemed like he's like talent that he refuses to use. Maybe that's a part of it. I don't know. I didn't follow the whole USC situation with Clay Helton. But this right here is exactly what it is. You got talent you don't want to use. And I'm not even going to get into the other shades of talent when it comes to other personnel on the field. Because you could talk about other positions as well. But I don't know. I do have someone in mind that I would love to bring in as coach, but that's way, I would, out of respect, it's way ahead of the game. I don't want to get into that. I really don't want to get into that, but yeah, it is quite disappointing. But I've been looking at some people that I would like to see take the reins, but we'll see. I don't know. You got 2 more games. Believe it or not, we still have a chance to go 8-4. Still have a chance to go 8-4. Crazy, right? I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm about to get ready to watch this Falcons game. And hopefully we'll be talking about a victory in Denver. Because, yeah, we need something to finish off this weekend on a high note, right? All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.